This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One-Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me, I got Research Rob. I got Sakura A. How's it going, guys?
What's up? What's up? It's another beautiful week. I had an amazing Valentine's Day. How about you,
It was okay. Can't complain. My
Can we
son
Rob?
went on
stop
his
talking about
first
that
date.
damn day, please? Can we move on, okay? President's Day was a
I
real
said enough
holiday.
is enough.
Come
President's
on
Day
now.
was.
Love is in the air, Rob.
I had a fantastic President's Day.
I know.
President's
This is
Day.
Valentine's now. We're talking about Valentine's.
No, it ain't
Hey,
nothing about holiday. Let's move on, shall we?
I've never been a fan, but the day before Valentine's Day is my birthday, so I had a long weekend, so I enjoyed that. Let's put it that way. There,
I'm floating on
Sakura.
air.
I got some air you can float on. Let's go.
All right. Of course, we got a big fight to talk about later. And of course, I'm talking about Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. But before we get to that, we had some Zupa boxing this weekend, Sakura. What did you think of it?
You know, I know it's the early days, so I don't want to be too critical. And I do like the production that they're trying to develop and get everybody connected well. It's a great team of experts and analysts that's well known. And so I like that part of it. But I did kind of find some of the fights to be a little not what they want it to be as far as better matchups. And I do realize you got to build, some of these matchups. But the thing that got me is that they are bringing up, like when it comes to divisions, they're bringing up people that's just signed with them or that they can make fights with. And they kind of are not saying the names of other big players in the division if they're not, in that Zupa bubble. And I don't like that, because I didn't like it when Top Rank was doing it. I didn't like it when PBC was doing it. I don't like it when we're like ignoring the rest of the division because they're not on your side of the street. So that was one thing.
Yeah. I agree on the production. I do kind of like the production value of it all. They're still missing some key points, but I think the bare bones is there. Some of the fights are just kind of ho-hum. There was a couple of good knockouts, but yeah, you can tell the matchmaking is not quite there yet.
And that
Yeah,
kind
the
of take away.
matchmaking, because I felt like the prediction, I felt like the main event, even FA, was gonna basically have his way eventually with Charles Martin. That was kind of like not a surprise when it happened.
Yeah,
So
we were talking about that before the air, and I said, he beat Charles Martin. I'm not sure, how far that goes right now, but
mhm.
it's a win, and a win over a named ex champion, former champion.
Which leads me to my next topic. But you guys were spot on. So there's no need to talk about how I feel about Zufa. You're spot on. The matchups aren't there right yet. The production levels, they're trying to step it up. I agree with that, but the matchups aren't there, which to me could take away from some of these big knockouts that we're seeing. On top of the fact that the guys that are creating the knockouts are unheard of. So, that's an issue there as well. But the main event, seeing the FA versus a washed up Charles Martin, that don't excite anybody to watch, period. But the issue that I have now is Mr. FA going out here trying to say he's being ducked by all these other heavyweights. Nobody's ducking you, bruh. Nobody. Nobody's ducking FA. Okay, let's just be honest there. Who the hell does he think is ducking him? You know
Well,
who does
here's
he
my
think
thing,
ducking?
right? To be ducked, you have to be in line, right? You way in the
Right.
back, okay? You way in the back.
Right.
I got so many people in front of you, motherfucker. I can't see you. You way back there. We ain't got time for that. I'm not saying that FA. You got a solid win, but you got to be a little bit more aggressive in your competition if you want to claim that somebody's ducking you. A win over Prince Martin, nah. Charles Martin's not giving you that kind of status.
Mm.
Right.
I just felt like, apparently Charles Martin had won the first two rounds by just outboxing. Well, they said that the judges had it where Martin was winning. And I felt like it was closer than that. But then the third round, whenever, he got in trouble, it was bad. And what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
bad. And I don't know why he's the type of boxer, Charles, where when he gets like KO'd, he's like actually standing up. It's like it's always
He's
a
always
stoppage
he's always
situation.
out before he hits the ground. Is that what you're
He
saying?
never hits the ground. A lot of times it's like he just dazed and standing up and they gotta wave it off. And I'm like, wow, this is different. But I
Well, I
just
mean, his
felt
big
like,
ass is laying on the ropes. That's why.
yeah, that too. He do know how to find the ropes, that's for sure. But we got to do better with the matchup situation, and we can't ignore other people in divisions just because they're not signed with your company. I don't like how that comes off. We know
Yeah,
they're not signed with you, but that doesn't mean you can't mention their names for in the future. There could be an opportunity for matchups with individuals that are not necessarily signed to your organization. So, build it up.
Listen,
yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
that's the scariest part of Zuffa is when you look at the early days in the UFC, they had these piss poor fighters and piss poor fights because they were trying to build it up and build a name. And as they got more and more fighters, more and more people getting into it and everything, some of these guys were able to make a name for themselves, and they aren't the best skilled at it. The problem is
Mhm.
you can't do that in boxing because it's already been a long going, elongated profession. There are way more professionals out there that have more skills, that have a better skill set, and you not acknowledging them because quote unquote they're not in your league or your club diminishes you as a sport.
Mm, yeah, and we wanted something that was going to help build the sport bigger, not have them going to different corners even more than what they are already.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know because I feel like it's kind of a double edged coin. Let me explain what I mean. So boxing's missing an audience, right? I mean, especially as of late, the audience has died down. And me and Rob just found this out earlier, pulling up information to talk about and stuff. Tried to go to Zuffa Boxing's actual website. You have to go through the UFC to do that. So it's ufc.com/Zuffa Boxing.
Mm.
So, I mean, that part of it alone, if UFC is starting to promote its boxing within, do you see what I'm saying? That's a whole nother category and a whole nother um, audience that we're not reaching right now as a sport. So it could be good. Will it be is still up in the air. But Rob, it also does offer something that you complain a lot about. It's talking about recognizing a lot fewer weight divisions.
It recognizes that it recognizes a lot fewer champions. But
Which is
the
is
thing
that
that
not something that we all complain about?
the thing that I come to the realization though is that it's already when you're building something from the ground up like UFC did, then you can do that. But there's a lot more professionals out there that aren't gonna join your league, aren't gonna be, and to you aren't gonna be recognized as true champions, as true fighters, and
Oh yeah.
your club fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't think that I don't think that works. To me, I don't think that works, but we'll see.
I
I
don't know. I
mean,
mean,
let me ask you, Lucas,
yeah.
would you want to see a FA as a world heavyweight champ?
I mean, if he earns it the right way, the problem is again, can you get him some competition? Like you were just saying, it's going to be so hard to get these guys to come over here. It's not going to be that easy. PBC would have had the best option back in the day when PBC was first formed. Guys, they had a killer lineup. That stable was, I mean, about as elite as it would get, and that would have been the time to do it. I agree because now you FA might have to be your champion. Um, I'm going to say that's a weak champion, but he just beat a former champion in Charles Martin. Uh, you know, I don't know. We got to see FA in more fights, uh, but I'm not all the way mad at it. The problem is, again, are we going to keep it to where you can have local fighters too? Like we're talking about with the club fighters, right? So if we travel, if we're doing pop up fights, you can kind of mix in the little house shows into some of the TV spots that we were doing, kind of like Friday Night Fights did. I think that could also be good for the sport. Now, are they going to do that? I don't know. I can't see the future. But if that's what they did and reached out to more local promoters, so you have local club type fighters on the card, finished off with a big name or at least a known name, that's a lot more eyes on the sport. I mean, it's good for boxing. It spreads boxing in a lot of different ways.
But another thing that is going to change, and I can't say this for a fact because we don't have the numbers, but basing on what Zuffa models have always been, based off of what UFC models have always been, and I know for a fact that FA just fought maybe a couple months ago. It looks like they're making these guys fight more often, and we know they're not getting paid probably quality amount of money. They're probably not getting paid a quality amount of money for these fights, and they're gonna be forced to fight more often. That's the UFC model. That's the super model. Now, the good thing is should that force the real fighters to try and come out and fight more often? Hopefully, it does. But that to me, that's another issue that they're gonna run into.
I mean, yeah, you complained about that too, about people not fighting often enough. I mean,
Well, they don't. They
okay.
let's be honest. They
They don't
don't.
have to anymore because they're getting paid more. When in previous generations, they had to fight more because the purses weren't what they are now.
Yeah.
So and now I guess Zupa is getting back to the purses being more equivalent. But I feel like the first few boxers that sign are going to get better deals than if you wait and you need to do it later once they're more established. Like right now,
Ah,
they're enticing people with bonuses and, bigger options. But then later, it's going to be a different story because they don't necessarily need you to be with Zupa after they have established themselves more. So I think now it's like, okay, let me give Opataya, this lucrative deal and maybe a Usyk, who knows? Like, they're just offering more money right now because they said they got four more heavyweights that they're gonna sign and they're gonna be announcing soon. So I'm wondering what those four names are, but I guarantee you they're going to get paid more in their contracts than if they waited and, kind of sat on the sidelines because they're looking for bigger names right now to try to make a bigger matchup. And the heavyweight division, even, Turkey Al Sheik has said, that boxing kind of like, rotates and is more exciting and more robust when there is a deep and luxurious heavyweight division, which I
Hmm.
kind of agree with some, you know, that's why the heavyweight division, the names are so known worldwide, is because that division is one that people really, will tune in for.
Yeah, everybody looks to see the heavyweights duke it out. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's a rough spot, because I do agree that fighters deserve kind of their pay, but at the same point, there has to be enough money left for the promoters to be able to build and to promote and do their job, if especially if they're doing it effectively. But I don't want to speak for everybody, but I would say promotion for boxing period is in the trash can. I don't see shit. Especially not in my era. There is no promotions for fights unless you're watching a channel that boxing is already on. Uh, Other than
Hmm.
that, boxing is not covered well. But I think this has been the problem, is that the fighters are actually getting overpaid. And I do believe Zuffa's underpaying. I think there's got to be a happy
Hmm.
medium,
Yeah,
because again, I think
that's
that bankrupted
that's the
HBO
valid point.
boxing, Showtime boxing. We're seeing that boxing can't be supported on the main channels anymore. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
And that's the valid point that you're making. Is it does have to be even though. Don't pay these guys peanuts. And the thing that I'm talking about is you know what, Lucas? Now that I think back to it, the thing that killed boxing was Showtime or HBO, whoever did it first. When one of them did it, the other one did it with their top fighter. Is you can't be offering guys upfront money for a four fight contract or whatever, and say I'm gonna give you 320 million without even announcing what those four fights would be. The best way to do it is to sit here and say, okay, I need you to fight more often to get to the 32 million, right? So yeah, we need to take away that 32 million a fight deal too. If you want 32 mil, then give me four fights for that 32, four quality fights for that 32 mil. You know,
Or, or hey, I mean, if you really want a product, right? If you really want boxing to be at its all-time best, you sandwich these two together, right? You say, I will pay you this high dollar shit, but you're going to fight who we tell you you're going to fight, or our ranking systems tell you who you are going to fight. Now, that would be worth the money, and you would get that money back.
I just believe that some boxes are worth that type of money, but not every boxer is. And that's the problem that they got into, is at a certain point they started paying everybody more money because one or two fighters do are top earners and can generate, huge bills. But everybody wasn't doing that. So everybody shouldn't have been, getting that increased pay scale. And then you had Showtime and HBO kind of like, they were, how can I say it? They had competition going on who would be able to get the bigger fights. So they was outbidding each other, and in the same situation, that was causing the fighters to be able to get more money too, because they wanted the bigger fights on their network. So, it was a lot that contributed to that. But, we can go back even further than that. And we can say that boxing fans started being losing their connection with the sport when we went to premium channels, because everybody wasn't going to be able to pay for those premium channels when they used to be able to watch it on, your regular cable channels, where lower channels is what they called it back then. So it was a lot that went into, diminishing fans over the years. The question that a lot of these promoters and networks and Netflix is actually asking is, what sells, what's marketable, what do the people want to see, and try to get more eyeballs on the sport.
For sure, and that's what we need now more than ever.
Right.
Well, one thing that's going to be drawing eyeballs here is Spence versus Tim Tszyu was announced, set for June, guys. Are we happy or are we worried? What do you think? I can tell something's going on up there, Rob.
I'll believe it when Spence can see it. Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm done with you right now. That was terrible.
you make it sound like you don't think he's gonna actually even start training camp.
No, I've seen him. I've seen him training, but he still takes the sport too lightly. That was always his issue before. He really was winning fights off of talent alone, and that's how great of a talent he is. Really, that's how great of a talent he is.
Right.
But guys, that losses like he took, and really the situation with the car wreck and the type of damage that did, and 3 years off now. Is it 3 years off? Mentally, physically, I don't see how he can come back.
Hmm.
Now, here's the thing: he's young, and he does have all of that talent. Against an opponent like Zoo is a perfect opponent for Spence. Perfect, because you're probably not going to see the rust. You're probably not going to see the rust in that fight. He's probably going to look ice cold. He's probably going to look good. He's going to have people talking again about, oh, Spence is back. And that's good for the sport too. But is that good for Spence? Because as he
Hmm.
ups and ups and ups the competition level, he's going to have problems, Lucas.
I'm going in
Yeah.
another direction with it, and that's that I still kind of wanted to see that Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu fight. And this situation here is kind of like, where this come from? I know that Tim Tszyu has had his two losses, and maybe he wants to build up his confidence with this fight that he's planning in Australia first. But then I don't know where this Spence situation came from. When I really still want to see this Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu matchup, I really do think that is a very intriguing fight. But hey, it is what it is. It's Spence now, and hopefully he does want to come back. I don't know if that hunger is still there like it was before, to be honest with you, after you've, kind of semi-retired. I just think that sometimes a boxer does better when they have had a longer layoff, in order to like really properly heal and, be totally rejuvenated as a boxer mentally too. So it possibly could have been a good thing that he was out for so long and really allowing his body the time to heal, his brain time to heal, his energy, spiritually to heal. So, I'm not going to count him down and out just yet.
I don't know. I don't this fight now is even after it's over, there's going to be question marks, right? I mean, Tim Tszyu's performances as of late have been a little questionable. Of course, Spence we haven't seen since Crawford, so even if Spence, you know, gets past Zoo, we're still going to be wondering after this fight what's left for Zoo, what's left for Spence. I mean,
Mm.
we
Yeah.
got to know he's got to get tested harder,
My
but
only
Zoo more will come. I mean, this is a good step back in fight. Actually, probably a hard step in fight for the
Yeah,
most part.
right. My
I
my only
agree.
question is can Spence beat him with one eye closed?
Damn.
You just couldn't leave it alone. We have bypassed it and you
Yeah,
just brought it back up again.
I'm wondering though, right? Because vision problems you just don't get over either, right? And I mean, this is known damage that he's already sustained. So how is he even really coming back? I mean,
I
how did
mean,
he
it
do
has
with
to
the
do
vision
with
test? I think
your
we need to know.
I think that the consensus with a lot of trainers is it just like you have to see how much of their peripheral view was damaged or not.
Yeah.
So, it's about, can you see what's coming from the side angles, basically,
Mm.
your peripheral view. So, maybe he's had some trainers to really look at that and, get in the ring with him and, test him to see if it's too much, damage that was done, or if it's something that, basically they must have came to the consensus that, yeah, he could see good enough from, side angles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're just
I
hoping
hope
for
he
the
can.
best.
I hope he
Yeah,
can. I know
exactly.
you got to make your money, and I know there's not a lot of other ways that you can just make that kind of cash. So, I mean, I would understand it if he's trying to come back even without being able to see. I hate to see it. All right. Before we go on, because I still want to talk about Claressa Shields versus Crews-Dezurn too. But damn it, I had something specific. It's gone now. It was in my
What
head.
about that Ronda Rousey fight
Oh,
that was announced today?
that I mean, that's that's gonna be an MMA fight, but I was surprised. I mean,
Yeah,
now
that
I'm thinking
surprised me.
yeah, didn't didn't seem like that. I
I'm
mean, are
mad
they in the
about
same
that
weight
one.
class? I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
mad
is
about
Jake
that one.
Paul making a move on MMA? Like this
Mm.
is this is what my question is. Like from a boxing politics standpoint, is that him like creeping into Dana White's area? With this celebrity, I call this a celebrity fight because
It kind of
Ronda
is. Yeah.
Rousey, yeah, but Netflix is paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what? No
yeah,
matter
I
what
think
we
they can
feel,
admit.
that
They're just
Netflix
gonna
is
get into
putting
it.
out that money for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I don't
think
even
they
know if
can
this is
admit
like out of
about
weight or anything. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Gina Carrero is a legend too, okay?
Yeah.
It ain't just about
Hmm.
no damn Ronda Rousey.
True.
She in badass movies. She be teaching people stuff in them movies too.
Yeah,
Look like you
yeah.
looking at something besides the plot of the movie.
She bad.
She,
She bad.
she's bad in
She
multiple
really
ways.
bad. Hey, come beat me up, please. Beat me up. Be my
He will.
Valentine. Oh, that's over with. I'm sorry. That day is over with.
You brought that back up. No, I started to remember, but we gonna talk about that after Shields Discern too. Is this a fight either one of you guys really want to see? I mean,
Which
is there even a need for a second fight, or is
Layla
this just
Ali. Layla
yes.
Ali.
that's what you want?
There is a need for this fight and for a rematch specifically because I was listening and then it's like Franchon is saying you know I remember getting a call when I was on the couch, so that's like code for saying like you caught
Okay.
me while I was I wasn't really
You,
training and I wasn't in shape, but I took that fight because of that money, and it was a great opportunity. So this time there's not going to be no rooms for excuses, that like you've had a decent training camp and you knew about this way in advance. So I am looking forward to this. Plus they're both Olympians. I mean, it's a good rivalry, even though they are close friends, I'm hearing. So I just feel like if Shields isn't able to keep Franchon off of her, because she's about that pressure. And how she gets her wins is through like outworking her opponents. Um, a good example is when she fought Shadeja Green and she just like outworked her in the inside. So if you can't keep her on the outside, you're gonna have a really tough night. So this is my intrigue with this one is, can Claressa, keep that stick out there and keep her at a distance and not allow her to play her game and what, makes her be able to win.
mm, yeah, I didn't know she got called on the couch, but man, this is a as for Clarissa's debut fight too. So both have changed probably quite a bit. Um,
Yeah, that's
Rob,
true.
how you see this one going, or you see just
I
repeat?
I hate to say it. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. How I see this fight going, yeah, it's a repeat. It's absolutely a repeat. Um, she ran out of opponents, obviously. So now she's doubling back. Franchon is tough, and I'm giving Franchon credit because she earned her way back. She piled up a good quality set of amount of wins. So she fought her way back into this position. So I'm okay with the fight. I'm okay with the challenge. I think it will be competitive for however long it lasts, but it's gonna be a repeat. She's not gonna dethrone her. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but Clarissa is gonna be out here like this until Jake Paul finds somebody that can test her. And I say that because Jake Paul is now the lead promoter for female boxing. So
Mhm.
Jake, when you find the girl, and you will, when you find the girl, then we can talk. Then we can talk about a big Clarissa Shields fight. But
I think
until
he
then,
already
there's
got the
no
girl, but I mean, there's
Oh,
some. I mean, he's got a long roster now of females, and some of them are like world champions. I think it's like
yeah,
at
but
least five or
Clarissa,
six of them are world champions right now.
yeah, I would like for him
yeah,
to
but
sign all the girls. I think it would be amazing to have just women's boxing under one roof. I mean, you still got to make fights with other promotions. That's the only
Hmm.
bad part because you do want to mix them up, on other cards.
I
Uh,
just need Claressa to go on and play that song, "Whoop That Shit." It is
CJ
always
talking
so
about
funny to me, Rob, when the announcers are like, "What are they saying?" Like they don't know that is like hustle and flow.
no,
Terrence
they
Howard whooped that trick. Like
they trying to
Three
they
Six
they trying
Mafia
to
and Terrence Howard.
that's right.
yeah. But CJ, no. I'm sorry, sir, but no. She's got a
Why
ways to
no?
go. Y'all keep
Why
saying
not
that
no?
stuff. She's at heavyweight. Clarissa is at heavyweight,
Yeah,
y'all.
but she
She's
can lose
all the way
some.
up
They can
there.
meet in the middle, right? They can meet in the middle.
Who is that? I can't see it.
Shields and
He was
Baumgartner.
he was bomb
Oh yeah,
guard.
that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of
Yeah.
weight gain for Alicia and a lot of weight loss for Shields. I think she said previously she thinks she could get down to like the 150,
Yeah, and that's a lot.
154 time. Like that's
Heavyweight.
as low as she could get. She might not be able to get there now because she's so, she's gone so far up from middleweight now that, I don't know how far she can go down, but then that would mean that um Alicia would still need to get to 154. And right now she's at 130. Like she's a 130-pound champion. That's a lot of weight to gain.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, CJ again. J. Paul's gonna develop one, and then we can talk about it.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
CJ probably right. CJ probably right because he thinking, well, hell, they were gonna let Tank fight J. Paul. Like, why not Alicia fight fighting Claressa Shields?
Yeah, it sucks for Shields and for us because we don't get to really see how good Shields is. I mean, we
That's
can't see
true.
or
Not
test
yet.
it. We can't see
Not
it.
yet.
It's like if Usyk just fought and nobody else was really around him to even try to test him. Like, what it doesn't do us any good. You
That
can't see
that
what they're really
last
capable of.
But that last girl that fought her that was from Hawaii, I think she was from Hawaii. She did a great job against Claressa. Like, I mean, she puts a lot of pressure on Claressa that she wasn't used to. And she was kind of like an awkward Madonna type fighter. So she tagged Claressa a few times too. So that also made me think a little bit like, somebody might have the ability to use that blueprint to be able to do some different things with Clarissa.
Maybe.
But now, Clarissa is very clever in there. She's not just, like a boxer puncher. She really does kind of, know how to set you up for some good punches. And she had luck with the Perkins heavyweight because she was able to knock her out. So
Mm.
she got stoppage, which is kind of unusual for Claressa. So she's developing power too. So we don't know what we're going to see in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting not a Shields KO, but a Shields unanimous victory. If not every round, maybe one or two. Going Franchon's way. Now,
Mm.
Rob, you did say you expected the Shields to win. Your decision or KO?
Well, yes, they're friends, but Carissa Franchon has been bringing it on in the press. She really has bringing it on in the press, which sets Clarissa up for a statement. And that's what she's been wanting is a statement. She's got to make the statement and knock her out. She has to. Because
Mm.
Franchon is pouring it on in the press. Somehow we were friends, but that don't mean nothing on fight night. I hate you. All that all she's saying all the right stuff. And getting
Yeah, because nobody
Undertoy's
wants to know
support
people are
with it.
friends before a fight. Like,
No, we at least want you to pretend you hate each other.
pretend that you got some animosity.
Right.
Well,
Pretend it. And she's
it's
doing a
not
great
that.
job at it. You're right. They're marketing the
Yeah,
fight the best they can. And I like that there's some dissension there between the two, especially when, Claressa is supposedly saying things, Franchon is using her name to build us, be name worthy or whatever, and then discern. She's like, wait a minute now, I did my fights on my own. Like I ain't never try to use your name. Like, let's not go there, cause. So I like the little back and forth banter they're having, but come fight night, we gonna see how much of a friend is.
And what is your prediction, Sakura?
It's hard for me. Like I said, I think it depends on what type of fight that it develops. Like, is Clarissa gonna be willing to go in and really, you know, out hustle Shields, or is she gonna stay on her stick with her jab and just move around and try to tire out Franchon, who is the older of the two? I don't know. I can't predict this right now. By the end of the week, I think I'll be done develop something. Right now, if I had to choose, I guess I would go with the younger fighter Shields and the new power that she's trying to that she's shown she's developed. So even though I love Franchon to death, so that's what I would predict right now, unless Franchon can really put some pressure on her, because I've seen where she don't really like that. She don't like fighting on the back foot either, even though she can. But she much rather be, bullying you around.
Mm-hmm. Used to coming forward.
yeah. And I'll just say the last take on this. Yeah, you can be my friend, but I'm still gonna knock your ass out. We can have a beer afterwards.
CJ says, "Give me Taylor versus Baumgardner then," and
That's
he has
doable. Yeah.
Clarissa by unanimous decision. All right, so we talked about Zuffa, right? And this is going to lead me into this because of how the ranking system is supposed to go with Zuffa. I think it's going to be more you actually have to earn your title. And the main event that we're about to talk about, you can't really say earned a title shot. And of course, I'm speaking about Ryan Garcia. Guys, would you agree?
What
I don't
about Ryan
agree, but
Garcia?
yeah, I don't agree. But go on your rant. Here, you setting us up for a rant. I
I'm
feel.
not setting you up for a rant. I don't see somebody who is, what is it? Out of his last 5 fights, lost 2, won no contest. Come on, man. There has to be the ranking system to say, all right, you earned this. Let's put
Mm.
you up there. In no way am I not saying he's not capable, or even an equal foe, because I honestly think he's probably got the edge in this fight. It's just you haven't earned that spot yet, right? There's somebody else that might
Oh,
even
I
be able
see
to
what you're
beat
saying.
Barrios first that has earned this, a mandatory somewhere that has earned this, that's probably going to wait and get step aside money or never get his fight to begin with. What's the point of having these systems, the WBC, the WBA? All of you guys have these, and then they're just allowed to get around it anyway. It's like, what is the point of having your ranking system? It really does no good. And this is where we're hoping Zuffa kicks in. But Will we see it that way? I don't know. I have my doubts too because they're always going to want the top guy, the guy with the most popularity, to have the title. It's like WWE in that way.
Okay, Lucas. So a few things to pick at you there. A few things.
Go ahead.
Not a
Number
few.
one is let's not forget Barrios just had a title defense against Manny Pacquiao, who came off the couch to
Exactly.
unretire to get a title shot. Why? Because he's a name. With his Ryan Garcia, he's a name. So that's why he's getting the title shot.
Hang
The
on now.
second thing,
Hang on now. Manny
the second,
Pacquiao, we're talking about a Hall of Famer. Oh, okay, there we go. We're talking about a Hall of Famer coming out of retirement to fight you. We're talking about Ryan Garcia, who has not even held a title before. Can't compare those two. Sorry, but
Okay, I'm
first
just
of
saying
all,
it's like this. I mean, that was a draw, right? That Pacquiao versus Barrios
was it?
was supposedly a draw. I mean,
Yeah,
that was the decision. That was the
yeah. It felt more like a Pacquiao gift draw to me. Y'all know I like Pacquiao, but
no, I couldn't tell you. I mean, it
but
was close.
I think Barrios
And
had at
that's
least
saying
like a
something right there to me. Just the fact that it was close is saying something to me.
right.
Okay, about your champion. And this is no shade to Barrios at all. But I'm
No,
saying you're talking about ranking systems and things like that. This is the title holder fighting a retired boxer fresh off the couch, as you called it, who had just gotten his International Hall of Fame induction. And you're saying that was a close fight, but it came out a draw. But now Barrios should be made to fight, somebody else besides Ryan Garcia. Who?
yes.
Who should he be made to fight when these other two players, and I say two because I'm, maybe three. There's three belts other than WBC. So these fights were already matched up, or the boxers weren't available to fight him, Barrios, on that date. Like, who else was he gonna fight besides Ryan Garcia? Tiafimo? Uh,
I mean,
he's at 140. Like, what are we doing here? Like, let the two of them fight and find out, where Ryan Garcia is at right now. I don't have a problem with that because honestly, even with the whole, snacks and pet scandal situation ish, I do feel like the punishment was a little bit harsh
how
than what
so?
they do other
don't
people.
even get Lucas started on that.
I'm
How
serious
so?
I
though. I
agree
mean,
with you.
I
I
feel
don't
like his
see
punishment was a lot worse than some other players
a
that
year
we know of
suspension.
in the industry. So I'm just putting it out there that let's just find out where he's at after this Rolly Romero fight that he didn't perform well in. Okay. Now we're
Yeah,
gonna find out for sure if he doesn't come on top with Barrios. Now we know that he needs to go back down in the pecking order. Now, if he
Yeah,
is able to get his hands on this WBC title, then what? Now we can still make. I mean, we can't make a boost fight. He's at 154 now, so that's out the window. We can't. Who are we making this fight with? I'm just like that. That division is not what it used to be.
I mean, there's still names though. Have they reached out to Brian Noman Jr., Jack Catterall, Musayev?
and
I
Okay,
mean,
Lucas is
really,
just
there's
this
going.
so
what I'm
many
saying.
Lucas,
See
people.
how
hey,
you
look,
straining to
look,
There's
come
so
up with names
Lucas
though.
is
so
That's
just
many
going through
people.
the ranking system now. That's what
I
he's doing.
do. Yeah, I have the ranking system
yeah. If
up
you go through the ranking system, you
because that's what
still
they should be there for.
But
What's
right, but
the
but
then
let
you're
me
gonna
purpose
have
say
of
a
it?
this.
promoter
What's
that
the
doesn't want to
purpose?
If
bid on the fight because they
What's the
know
yeah,
it's no money in it.
okay.
if I can, let me say something. No,
Then
and
it's
this
like
is
a
two
Antoine
facts.
Russell fight that's coming up with Hiroja G. Is that his name?
Hiroka,
Hiroji?
Hiroka, yeah,
Hiroga.
Hiroka,
Right,
yeah,
where a lot of people don't know who Aroga is, and you can't put him as a main event on the card, even though he has a title too. I think he has a
yeah.
WBA title. Like this is the problem with it. It's like you're trying to fit in these rankings, and go by that. But then also the promoters, they're only going to pay a certain amount of money for these type of fights because they know that it's not going to be a huge draw. So I mean, I think that's what just happened with Mungiao versus Resendez or
I mean,
Resendez.
this is where we get back to the point where it is more a business and an entertainment business than it is a sport anymore.
Somewhat.
We don't
Uh,
really care as long as people are
Somewhat.
tuning in and going to get money for us. But the problem is Garcia, not only did he not earn it, and then he cheated on top of it. Now I'm not going to say
Here we
that
go.
you're right, Sakur, in the fact that like he was punished more. But in the same point, I think that was just. Everybody else isn't punished enough or at all. Big Baby Miller's out here still making fucking fights, getting his hair split off of him. He's tested positive like 4 times. When do we draw the line and be like, hey, man, we got to make this stop? I think that's part of the
I
problem.
just feel like
So
it,
You
it
can't
wasn't
you
it
can't test
wasn't
positive
proved.
and then 2
I got
fights
something to
later
say.
get
But
a
I'm
title
saying it
shot.
wasn't necessary. I'm just saying that them tests that they did, they
He tested
wasn't like.
positive.
I,
I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean, I like. I'm just saying, in them tests, they showed that it was so less in his system. Like it's like it wasn't gonna make a difference what they showed in there. And then when they showed the contaminated bottle, now you really got me thinking, like, that was sent out for research or whatever.
It's a
You know,
scapegoat. Yeah, it's a
I don't
scapegoat.
know. I
He
don't
was
know,
tested
but this
positive.
snacks thing is real. So we have to start. A lot of boxers are using that now.
I don't know if we can get into
They
that.
using it,
Okay.
and it's supposed to be good. It's
Well,
supposed to be legit.
Exactly.
So
well, Sakura,
Look, can
I
I
asked you
speak?
that, and I say that because we had just had a fight that wasn't Vita tested at all between Shakur Stevenson and
oh,
he's with Snack. So that's a whole nother thing that we can't get into right now because our show would go into another hour
And
because
Lucas's head will pop off and
no.
explode.
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
even I
I'm
didn't even
sorry.
realize. I missed that one. I'm sorry. I
Nick,
missed that host that there. I remember y'all talking about somebody wasn't Vita tested,
yeah.
but I just said, like, how much is this really happening where there's no testing?
Probably a
And we
lot.
just not asking, right?
Yeah, probably a lot. And we need to
So
ask why
it's
not.
not
It's not that
mandated
it's
though.
not. We need
It's
to
not
ask why
mandated.
not. Say what?
It's not mandated. It's not mandatory.
That's
Right.
the
It's not
problem, though.
mandated because we
Listen,
don't
okay.
have a
Rules are rules.
functioning.
It's not
If you're
mandated.
somebody that don't claim to want a test all the time, okay. But Shakur Stevens is all over social media talking about, oh, if Pacquiao took the test, I would whoop him and all this. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You're not even making Tio take a test now. Shut the fuck up. Like, if you're gonna be about it, be about it. You can't double back and be like, oh no, you didn't
Well,
get a test in your most
Oh, why
recent
they want
fight.
to pick on? Now they want to
let
pinpoint
me
Pacquiao too as the
Yeah,
example.
like, come on, man.
let me let me
If he
speak on
tests
the actual
positive, then
fight.
you can harp on him too. I'm all for anybody test positive, throw him out.
Got you. But let me speak on the actual fight. Okay. And I'm gonna open it up with my statement. I was gonna ask you a question first, but if I do,
It's getting late.
I'll never get this out.
Yeah, it's
Right?
getting
I'll
late.
never get this out. But let me say this, because what you're going on Ryan Garcia and harping on him for and everything is record. Okay. Look, Ryan Garcia's record is just like him. Bipolar. Okay. He has a bipolar record because he's bipolar, okay? It goes up and down with him, okay? And we don't know what to count is real and what not to count was really Ryan Garcia. And that's the most exciting thing about this fight. Then my next question to you is and it's and I know the obvious answer, and you better answer this truthfully. Can he beat him? Can he beat Barrios?
Probably. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. And that's probably I said all of that. I went on my rant about Ryan Garcia, but I say that in order to offer this. I do think Garcia is going to win this fight, probably pretty handedly. I think
I mean, a
and
lot of people said that about Rolly Romero too.
yeah, probably. I think Raleigh's got a little bit more pop though to keep Ryan Garcia a little bit more humble. Whereas I don't really know if Barrios has that kind of power. He couldn't put old Pacquiao away. I'm not saying that would be an easy feat still, because I honestly don't know. But regardless, it seemed like we all believe that Barrios should have and could have performed better than what he did. And anything that I try to bring up, power, I think Garcia has the edge. Speed, I think we all know Garcia has the edge. The only thing I can say, honestly, is defense and overall fight delivery. Textbook-wise, Barrios' style is better. But Garcia is going to be able to lead on his intangibles, his raw talent, and be able to just whoop this guy from pillar to post, no matter how better his technical boxing is.
Well, I'm gonna put out a ladies alert. Ding, 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 ding. Ladies, okay, both of these boxers are very handsome. So if you want to see some eye candy this Saturday night, you need to get your behinds onto the links and onto where's this at? Amazon Prime. So you can see these two very handsome and gorgeous bodies from the gods. So you can see them in action. Who cares who wins? Okay, it's plenty of candy for you to see. All
I
right.
feel dirty now, Rob.
And
I'm just waiting to see if there's
sending
going to
the
be an
alert
actual
out. Like
prediction.
it's very okay, guys. I know y'all. I've been giving y'all a lot of eye candy with the girls. Okay, I never fail y'all, right?
That's true.
That's right. So put up with this for a second. It is very rare that both opponents are fine as hell. It is. It's very rare. So I'm putting out my female ding 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 alert for the eye candy for the ladies. Okay, we got to get these women involved in this sport too. And right now, instead of me saying this is going to be a great matchup and somebody's sure to get KO'd and all that, I'm speaking girl language. The motherfuckers are fine. Get on there. Get your boyfriend in order. Tell him you want to watch boxing this weekend. And they will love you for it. You might get some action afterwards. Because tell me if I'm wrong. Aren't you guys pretty hype after fights? You got a lot of energy. You're very happy. Tell them.
Ready to fight
Hey,
ourselves?
Barrios
No,
looks like
I
a
said tell the ladies how hype and how happy boxing fans are men after the fights are off.
Hey, Barrios remind me of Neymar from the Wakanda movie. That's what he remind me
Lucas
of.
want to say yes so bad. Lucas is like, hell, fuck yes. You need to say yes too, Rob. You know it's true.
He remind me of Neymar from that character. Yeah. Anyways,
Name.
Ladies. Ding, ding,
aside
ding,
from
ding.
that, my take on it is this. Okay.
Mm.
Hold on, because you threw me
I
off
got
for
him
sure.
all
I had
flustered
something.
now,
Okay.
Lucas.
Barrios is a good fighter though. And a lot of people misconstrue that. He's a very good fighter. I believe Lucas is right. I think that Garcia actually favors in a lot of the other intangibles and a lot of the other categories. But Barrios has more heart. I think he has more heart. And we all know in any fight that gives you a chance. That absolutely gives you a chance. But um, you know, Barrios, you got to go a couple of fights back, even back from the Pacquiao fight, where he just, to me, doesn't let his hands go enough. He doesn't throw enough combinations out there, and that always leaves him susceptible to getting hit. Now he does have good defense. He does. He has good movement to me too, and I think he's strong. He's a lot stronger at that weight class than people give him credit for. But um, for him, he fights the same way every time, and those mistakes are always there. For Ryan Garcia, well, it depends. It depends on if it's one of those slap the meds off the table type of day, or if he's actually on them, right? Because you're
Right.
gonna get different Ryan Garcias. Now, that being said, I think against Raleigh, he was on some kind of them meds because he was a lot calmer fighter than he usually is. He
Hmm.
was non-engaging really. It was kind of like a little kid that you're used to being hyperactive, fighting in the ring, and then he gets on Ritalin, and all of a sudden he stops.
I got
Right?
the impression he was scared during exchanges with Raleigh.
I don't
Yeah,
know
he
what
did
it was.
say he said Rowley did have some thump to him.
Yeah.
And
Every punch
also,
seemed to like, ooh, I don't like that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
like
know.
that right
Yeah,
there. But also he was saying like he was getting distracted by like the things and the sounds of the,
Oh
uh
yeah.
the square, what's the area called?
when they were
Times Square.
outside, yeah, in Times
Yeah, he
Square.
was getting like distracted with all of the different noises in the background and being on the street. Then there wasn't really no fans. Like it was just it
It
will
was
mess up
weird.
people.
It was
Yeah, it's
weird.
like he was like in a different vibe. Like so, I think that also affected him. But he also felt that power.
Yeah.
But the say Tank recently aired a interview where he said Raleigh was the biggest puncher he fought. So you got to give Raleigh some credit there with that. But I think taking your meds or not, you can slap them off the table, Ryan. You can take them, whatever you decide to do. I still think he's gonna be motivated enough to win this fight.
I mean,
And most importantly, Barrios just has too many mistakes. He just has too many mistakes.
you saying Barrios is gonna make too many mistakes no matter what?
Yeah, he's gonna make too many mistakes. And then to me, he does have heart. So I want to see that come to play because he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt quick in this fight. He needs to show that heart, and I'd like to see what he can do to close the fight. Maybe he can make it closer, but he's gonna make too many mistakes earlier on, and he's gonna get clipped, and he's gonna be bad.
Well, I mean it. In a lot of ways, Garcia mirrors Amir Khan for me. Um, that chin is still not. I mean, Barrios can capitalize. He can still drop a Ryan Garcia. Pulling back with his chin still up in the air. Like you're champ, man. Don't let him get away with that shit. If he can capitalize on that. Another thing,
I think another factor in this fight could be the trainers because there was some
oh
trainer
yeah,
beat there with
Gooson's in his
Goosen
head.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then also Barrios, he's switched trainers because he was with Coach Santos.
Mm.
So it's like y'all, they both was like they switching around with trainers. So Goosen
Yeah.
knows a lot about Ryan Garcia and his different ways, and then Barrios is trying to learn a different skill set with Goosen than he had with Santos. So it's gonna be that might come into a it might have a impact on the fight.
Right. If I'm Barrios, I'm telling him counterpunch all day. Counterpunch. Because this dude loves to throw combinations and last a little too long. He overdoes it. All you got to do is block one, parry good punch, uppercut, boom, down down goes Ryan Garcia. It's winnable for Barrios. I just think with the raw experience, as long as he doesn't come in there uh, like Rob says, with just a stupid attitude or anything. If he's coming in there serious, I think he wins this fight pretty handedly.
So Lucas says, don't push your meds off the table. Don't have one of them type of days.
So are we all Ryan Garcia? I'm gonna say Ryan Garcia. I'll just say decision. I almost want to say a late round stoppage, but Barrios a tough motherfucker. I think he'll
He's tough. I think it's
Decision.
Yeah.
I think it's decent.
I think a decision. I don't think anybody's getting knocked out in this fight. I could be totally wrong though, because Barrios is a lot bigger fighter now. I think he's filled into the welterweight division really well now.
Mm.
And he's had tougher competition than Ryan Garcia to me, in my opinion. And so that experience should come into play. But if Goosen gives him some tips on some minor things that that Ryan does that nobody really picks up on, and he's a great strategist too. It could not. Ryan might not get this win either. So it just depends on what type of Ryan comes out there. If he is gonna pounce on Barrios, I would tell him if it was me, I'd be like, do it in the beginning of the fight. I
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't try to wait until later and make something happen then.
yeah, you're right. Goose might have a couple of tricks for Barrios to use. It could get interesting, really could. Before I want to talk the other undercards here, we got Gary Antoine Russell and Andy Hiroka.
Yeah.
And that's for the WBA junior welterweight title. And then another junior welterweight title also on the line in the undercard with Richard Hitchens taking on Oscar Duarte. Also going to be a great fight. Frank Martin also going to be on that undercard. But Rob, been a while. Do you have a rapid fire?
Yes, if y'all are gonna be rapid. Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'm
Let's
with
do
you
it.
on that.
Let's
I'm
do it.
hungry. Okay.
Quick.
It's good.
Let's do
It's just one question in general.
All right.
Okay, it's just one question in general. State your case and then move on. How about that? How about that?
You know who you're talking to.
CJ, join in, of course. I know you got an opinion on this, but the number one question is can fighters nowadays price themselves out of fights? And if so, how bad is that for them? How bad is that for their career, the sport, vice versa? What is your take? Can fighters price themselves out of fights?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, if we're gonna just do it, a short answer, I would say yes. I mean, that's easy
State your case.
to price yourself out of a fight. I mean, you come into negotiations and you're like, I'm getting 80, you're getting 20. What? Of course you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck you talking about? Wait, am I champion too? Yeah, I mean, it's easier to price yourself out of a fight in two different ways. So I don't know. I don't see any other way, but yeah, I mean, I think it happens a lot.
Mm. Yeah, I would just say that it's kind of where I see the disparity is at when you have a boxer that has been on pay-per-view with someone like a Canelo or someone like a Pacquiao or Mayweather, and then the next fight they gotta, you know, you gotta fight somebody that's a regular boxer, not a superstar boxer, but you still don't want to go down and pay too much from what you had just made with the pay-per-view. So you
Right.
feel like your value is a little better than what you thought than what it really is when you facing somebody else that's not that superstar. So I
Yeah.
think that's a good example of when you might price yourself out.
Yeah. You
Um,
don't know your worth. Yeah.
yeah, you know you're worth more, but you don't know what that more equals to, and you feel like it's more than what it really is
Yeah.
because like the numbers just don't work out in some cases on paper. So that's a good example of when it happens.
So notice how I said nowadays, with today's environment, can a fighter price himself out? The example that I use for this topic is the Mundial situation. Okay,
Mm.
now he's had negotiated a fight with a guy who has like only 18 fights on his record. He's got two defeats out of those. 16 wins, two losses. So he's 18 fights in. Mundial has 45 victories alone, let alone all the fights in his career. He has double the amount of total fights that this guy has even had in wins. Okay. So absolutely, if he feels like he was being lowballed, I feel like he has the right to come back and say, wait a minute.
Lucas is about to lose his shit already.
You're mixing the two things again. What value does not mean wins and losses in boxing. That's where you already messed up. We just talked about that earlier, right? It does not mean shit. What matters is how many asses you can fill in that fucking stadium, or if you can sell people to buy it on pay-per-view. That's about all people care about. That's
Well, I
it.
got an answer for you, Lucas. The way that it is nowadays, which is why I said nowadays, if you feel that way, take your ass to Zufa, because they ain't gonna pay you shit.
It was a
But
That
if
trap.
was a
you wanna,
like that was a
but
good comeback.
It
Okay,
was a
that was a
trap.
but
great
if you want,
comeback.
It was a trap.
but if you want to fight in the big leagues and you want to fight these big league fighters, then there's a negotiation that has to happen.
Okay,
Or you just be named
but for
Ryan
this
Garcia.
specific fight, you just said he got like double the amount of fights and all this kind of stuff. So is that a great matchup? Is the value there in the matchup? That was another thing that I was saying or suggesting in our conversation earlier is, well, does the matchup allow us to get big numbers, viewerships, gates, pay-per-view purchases? Like, is that matchup just based on what how you described it?
No. And
And
that's
so
why it shouldn't even and
why am
that's
I
why
as
it
a
shouldn't even and
why
that's why it
am
should have
I
been
as a
canceled.
promoter gonna pay you
And that's why
some
it should have been
astronomical
canceled.
number for a fight that is you're telling me the value in the matchup is not there?
And that's why it was canceled. And that's why it should have been canceled because it wasn't a value matchup.
Yeah, but
A and B,
we
there's
agree.
two different
Whatever.
sides to this. Sorry, Lupe.
You're good.
There's two different sides to this though. Is the matchup, but look at the platform that it's on. It's on a big fight with Benavidez versus Cerdo card. Is being on there, so that fight's gonna make some money. That card in general is gonna make some money
I
just
mean,
on
well,
the
is
game.
it gonna make money or is the main event of this gonna make the money? Like that's what has to be decided.
It's a fight card regardless, Shakur. If
I
you
know,
on the
but it
card,
doesn't
you a
mean
part
that
of
that
there. You a
particular.
part of it.
Okay. So the fight's canceled. We're still having the card, correct?
Yes.
So
And
and is the money
Resendez is
still there for the card without this Mungia versus Resendez?
well, there's probably gonna be more money because Resendez is still on the card. Mungia was off.
It just
He
yeah,
just don't want to say
yeah.
what I'm saying is that that card is still established. It's gonna make the about the same amount of money that it would
I'm
have
not.
because you got
Yeah,
Mexicans
I'm
on the
not
card.
arguing that. Yeah,
You
I'm not
got
arguing that.
Zerto and you got Benavidez. So the Mexican fans are still gonna tune in,
And Monkey out got Mexican fans too now.
but he's not on the card anymore.
No, but
I
that's
don't know.
what
You're
all of that to me is leading into why he made the decision to ask for more money.
and then you're still leading back in. All of this leads back into what we talked about earlier because then we come back to Zufa and we're like, well, you paid for the main
Yeah,
event.
go over there.
Now, no, now
Go
we're
over there.
gonna have to suffer through this undercard that we don't give a shit about. Probably, you know what I mean? That's what we're gonna get. That's what happens. That's what happens with boxing. If you've noticed, we used to
Okay, but
have
that's not just
stacked
Zupa. We
cards.
all know that is not just Zupa.
Oh
That
no,
is
it's
across the
boxing.
board. Where
No, it's
if you got
boxing.
two main events that's huge stars, the undercard has been recently pretty fluffy. In comparison, it don't have to be Zupa now. I gotta let that. You gotta let that go.
That is very true. It could be anything, but that's boxing in general right now.
Correct.
As
And
per
and another
usual.
thing, if that matchup was going to be all that, then they wouldn't have had it on as an undercard. It would have been able to support itself as its own main event fight.
Also true.
As
Thank
per
you.
usual. I might change his statement to riled up rapid fire. Because
Round up
as
rep.
per usual, I'll be getting y'all riled up.
All right. Well, let me rewind. Let me unwind. I'm ready.
Is that
That was
it for
it.
rapid fire? Okay.
That was it. I made it
Oh,
in
that was
time
it.
too.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
we
you
just
had
got
one
the
last question for us.
one today, but check us out next week. We'll have more for you. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we don't pull any punches, and we'll see you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Have a good night.
Bye.